You are already familiar with the incredible and engaging programming podcasts offer you. But did you know that companies are beginning to tap into the power of podcasting inside their organizations? Through a next-generation communication platform, Aimcast is already turning teams into communities. Leading Fortune 500 companies are already using Aimcast to better deliver sales training, corporate values and culture, virtual courses, customer engagement, human resources, messages from leadership, sharing insights and best practices, and even develop their own corporate podcasting programming. Head on over to aimcast.com and request a demo to experience what top global companies are already experiencing through the Aimcast platform. That's Aimcast, AIMECAST.com. Get your organization to connect and engage with Aimcast.
In 23 years of broadcasting, I thought I'd seen it all, folks. But it looks like Lou Diamond has actually blindfolded himself before doing this podcast. Well, it looks like the clock is about to strike midnight on this Cinderella story, turning Lou Diamond into the proverbial pumpkin. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare to witness the greatest happening in sport, sudden death podcasting. Oh my sweet Jesus. It's Thrive Loud with Lou Diamond.
Hey Thrive Loud listeners, Lou Diamond here. Hope you're doing spectacular. We seem to be on an entrepreneurial kick this week. We have the amazing entrepreneur Lisa Jolly from New Zealand, whose episode about Honey Bunch Naturals, which was just amazing. Go hear her and what's going on in New Zealand. You even might get a chance to hear her rap. That was episode 527. And Mark Kramer, who helps with stress-free families and lots of entrepreneurial businesses and all the things he's got in his business podcast. We figured we'd continue this theme with a minisode, and we went way back. A little over 3 years ago, I sat down with my good buddy David Mamano from up in Rochester, New York. And he's got a new program out now called the Gonzo Experience. But what was really interesting, we found this little piece of the interview which talks about how if he's not creating content for entrepreneurs or doing something entrepreneurial, his brain just isn't quite working well. And that's what you're going to hear about today in this little outtake from an episode literally 3 years ago titled Avanti. It was like episode 30 on Thrive Loud. So bringing it forward here, go check out his new podcast, the Gonzo Experience. You can check it out at either davidmamano.com or thegonzoexperience.com and sit back and enjoy this revisit, traveling back in time to sit down and chat with David Mamano.
Get ready to thrive loud with Lou Diamond.
So, in a nutshell, a lot of content that I'm producing for entrepreneurs. And just trying to help them learn and be their best. And the coolest thing about it is I end up being the best student, right? Because I'm learning all this stuff from everybody that I'm talking to and writing about. And as I say, the best teacher is the student. So I'm having a ball.
This is the one-stop shop to be, as you like to say, America's entrepreneur guru or whatever you want to call yourself. Yeah. And I think it's great because it's putting yourself in that light. With that, and this is something that, because we do have a lot of entrepreneurs that listen to Thrive Loud, is it more of the what to do or what not to do's that you think your audience, whether they're participating in the workshops or listening to all of your content that you have out there, which one is the one you think you're providing more value on? What to do or what not to do?
Well, what I really ask a lot of the people when I interview them is, tell me about your mistakes. Yeah. Tell me where you just crashed and burned, and for maybe a few days you were going to give up, but then you just decided to trudge on and not give up, even though it was a quote-unquote failure, but using that failure as a lesson, as a new beginning. So that is really a lot of the things that we cover in what we're doing, is like getting these experienced entrepreneurs and getting them to share their mistakes and their failures and how they use them as a learning lesson and kind of like a 2.0 to continue on. Because if you look at any entrepreneurial story, my God, there's tons of failures. You know, I mean, if we looked at if Thomas Edison gave up on the light bulb at 9,000 tries,
Right.
You know, we still would have been in the dark, or someone else would have invented it. So it's just all about like, okay, well, that didn't work. What can I learn from it? How can I move on? And I got to tell you, a quote about that actually started my entrepreneurial journey. So before I started my businesses, I was selling radio ads, right? So I'm a traveling radio salesperson, right? And I knew that I wanted to start a company, but I didn't have the courage to do it. So I said, let me listen to one of these Tony Robbins, sets at the time, because this was in the 90s.
Who's that? No, Tony Robbins, I know, right? We're all too familiar.
In the 90s. Unleash the Power Within, and it was in the early 93, 94. Unleash the Power Within. So I'm, driving around on my radio sales calls, listening to these cassettes, and he said a quote that literally made me pull over my car, write it down, and said, "That's it. That's just what I needed to pull the trigger." And the quote was, "If you are totally committed, you will always find a way." And I was like, that's it. I said, I will, if I start a business and it doesn't work out, who cares? I will start a second business. I will learn from my mistakes, and I will just not give up. I will continue to try until I get it right. And that made it more comfortable for me, knowing like, all right, if I completely, quote unquote, fail with my first business attempt, no worries. Learning opportunity 2.0 coming up. And so that just made me more comfortable about, quote unquote, failing. It's okay, and you learn and you move on.
No, that's the only way we grow. It's the only way we grow is to have the mistakes, because nobody does it perfect, and
right.
no matter what they say.
Yeah.
Although you might think you do it perfect, which gets to my question.
The reason I'm successful is because I have made so many mistakes that I can help people learn. So that's one of my benefits. So
I like it.
You've been listening to Thrive Loud with your host, Lou Diamond. Check us out on the web at thriveloud.com and follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook at Thrive Loud. And check us out on the Good Pods app at Thrive Loud, where you can follow, listen, and connect directly to Lou and all of the Thrive Loud episodes. Thanks for listening.